Hello, my name's Lynn, and I want to tell you a story. This story is about me and something pretty terrible that happened in my life, but it's also a story about courage and endurance and the willingness to help others. So I hope that you will listen, and I hope that you will support me in my endeavour. In 2011, I was most unfortunately diagnosed with hepatitis C. I'd never heard of this disease, and I also had never taken drugs intravenously, so I have no idea at all how I actually contracted this disease. Time moved on and I went on treatment. By the time I was diagnosed, I was extremely ill. My liver was spiralling downward very rapidly into cirrhosis, and if I had not undertaken treatment and cleared the virus, I dare say I would be in very dire straits by now. So as far as I am concerned, I more or less saved my life by doing the treatment. I had joined the Australasian Hep C website to gain some support because, like a lot of people, I was too scared to say I had Hep C, mainly because of the associations with drug taking, but also because people don't really understand how the virus is passed from one person to another. It's actually a blood-borne virus, so you have to use a syringe or some other object to transfer that virus from one person to another. But because of the misunderstanding, people keep quiet. They don't tell people when they have Hep C. That means that a lot of people who go on treatment and suffer the woes of treatment, because it can be very, very rigorous and hard, do it in total isolation. After I cleared the virus, I'd finished my treatment. 6 months later, I found out I had cleared the virus. I started writing poetry for others going through that terrible journey who were regular members on the Hep C website. They started off as very simple little poems, and then they gradually became more complex. At the same time, we invented a place called Dragonville. It was a town. And when you were on your treatment journey, you went to live in Dragonville, and you also battled your dragon. The dragon was the virus, and your aim was to kill your dragon. 2 of my poems that are going in Lynn's Countdown Poetry are Dragonville Poems. One has already been published in the Hepatitis Review, the Hepatitis New South Wales Review, and I will read a section of that poem out to you. In Dragonville the snow lies deep, and slayers toss in their sleep. They dream of battles newly won, and turning faces to the sun. But with the dawn will come the day, and warriors must wend their way to where the dragons stamp and wait, with fiery breath and strutting gait. Sword in hand the fighters strike, and battle on with all their might, until the snow with blood runs red, from a dragon down or dead. And if you want to know more about that poem, you're going to have to buy Lynn's Countdown Poems, because that will be the first poem in the book. The countdown goes from 10 to 1, and then Jenna the Dragon Slayer is number 0. I wrote the poems, and then there was a move on the site to have them published. Many people said, "Why don't you publish them?" And I thought about it, and I decided I really wanted to do this. But it's not for me. And it's not even for those I wrote the poems for. It's for all those who are going to have to go on treatment to try and get rid of their Hep C. And I want these poems to go out there in support. Treatment for Hep C is improving and new drugs are being trialled. But at the moment, many members are still having to do 48 weeks of terrible treatment. Some who receive my poems type them out or copy them out, and they put them on their fridge or wall to support themselves because they are so isolated. I want these poems out there to support everybody who needs them. And these poems aren't just relevant to Hep C. They're good for any person who is going through a terrible treatment regime for any disease. It's my bit to give the world these poems, and I want to do it. Will you help me?